Morning, my friends. Hi, I'm Rick, and this is your seat at the table, and we are looking at objective raids of Battletech Sourcebook. Right. So I was just looking at my mixer. These things are from the 80s and early 90s. This one here is 1987. Real Partha print, Battlemaster. I hand painted this puppy. This is a lead miniature, and you can. I was just still trying to learn to get the flavor of painting my own stuff. And there's something soothing and enjoyable about doing this to the level it was. And the details are always the devils are always in the details. And I got this thing here that I've had since those days, covered in dust, so you can see just, the idea being is a nice little tool, and you could pose and maneuver and change the setting pretty easily. And I never quite used the magnifying glass part because it needs to be out here further as far as I'm concerned. I never got I suppose I could have found an extension piece, but the idea was that I had this little nifty tool. And what's important for me was I was able to do two, so I would leave it in place to dry. So handling it was always problematic. You get the oil on your fingers and things like that. And so I could, while this one was drying, I could be working on another one, or I could be working on two at the same time, being based on layers of paint and trying to make the effort to get some interesting detail. My unit company logo was painted on the side, and there was a attempt at a command implication on this up there on the upper poltron. It was supposed to represent the captain's bars, so on and so forth. But anyway, this was one of my personal battle mechs that I used on a number of campaigns, both ones I ran myself and for other people's stuff. And whenever possible, I brought in my particular personal company, which was a mixture of heavy and assault with my command lance and my assault lance, and then I had I want to say heavy recon support lance of medium and lights that operated to give me some flexibility and so on and so forth. So anyway, Objective Raids, Battletech Sourcebook. This carries us up through the Tukyad Tros and the area right about that period of time. I really enjoyed it. I paid $15 for this thing in 92, right? Yeah, 92. So basically what this is an overview of all the various houses and clans in relation to the inner sphere, and key worlds where major production facilities are located and what those production facilities are known to produce. So we have situation briefing, conducting raids, pirate points, planetfall, clan military art, nice map, frontline forces, and where they're located. So here we got the armed forces of the Federated Commonwealth and Federated Sun State Command, Draconis March, the various command PDZs and who's there and who's based there, Capella March, Crucis March, and we got the Lyran Commonwealth State Command, Sarna March, etc., so on and so forth. And it goes through all of them, and I'm not going to go through everybody, but you get the gist. Draconis and Mustard Soldiery, where they're located, clans and their key bases, and who's located where, as of the particular year that this thing was published in the game perspective, and Jack the Regs, Merrick Militia, Protect Guards, mercenaries employed by the Free Worlds League. So this kind of gives you a perspective. If you look at the 40 or 50 odd Free World League main regiments that are listed here, there's at least nearly 20 mercenary commands employed to bolster and enhance their defenses and their offensive capability. So this is typical of all the major houses. All armed forces, St. Ives, Compact, so on and so forth. This is where we get into the gist. Here's got some of the periphery stuff. either next weekend or the weekend after, I'm going to start reviewing my periphery states. I've been putting it off a little bit for one reason or another, but I have 3 books on the periphery, the original, and then an updated version, and then of course the Explorer Core, deep periphery stuff, and the first 2 are kind of interlinked. So I want to do them individually. I don't want to do them. I don't think I can do them justice. Each individual periphery state as a combined effort. It would be pretty lengthy video, and some of the videos can get upwards of an hour long, as it is, as you well know. And if you've seen any of those on the major houses, so I think I can break them down and be a little more, give a little more effort to them individually. So, and which I'm going to try to do. So, get Alliance Military, Magistry, Italian Defense Forces, Independence, so on and so forth. Okay, so this gets into the meat of what this book's about. Industries. Border Worlds, Clan Front, Federated Commonplace. So we start with various planets. I'll get a good one here. Let's find a good one to give you really an idea. Okay, so Pandora. Days to jump point 4. Defending units on the planet are the 4th Davion Guards, RCT. Pandora is the home of 2 Commonwealth least efficient weaponry producers, Red Devil Industries and Quickcell Company. Quickcell plant is currently being disassembled for removal for the Commonwealth's interior, but the removing Red Devil industry present a more difficult problem. First off, all the Red Devil facilities are in such poor shape, held together by duct tape, baling wire, and prayer, according to one reporter, that the Commonwealth is seriously questioning whether the machinery is even worth relocating and whether it would survive the trip. The nightmare jury-rigged systems may also prove impossible to reassemble. Secondly, the corruptibility of Pandora does not want to see their main source of revenue pack up and leave. They're proving adept at blackmailing support for their cause. So, Red Devils Industries, on-site defending units of the 10th Federated Commonwealth. The vehicles are produced as the Rifleman, the Battlemaster, Pegasus Scout Tank, Condor Heavy Tank, and Centipede Scout Car, the Skulker version. And the components produced at the factory are listed here. So we got chassis, internal combustion engines, fusion engine, armor, communication systems, targeting tracking systems, machine gun, LRM-20s, and SRM-6s. As well on the planet, the Quickcell Company is defended by the Pandora College Training Battalion. Vehicles produced tracked APC, Scorpion Tank, LRM Carrier, SRM Carrier, and various components for those machines. So this gives you an idea. So what you can do, you know, when you're looking at setting up raids or a conflict for your campaign, this is a comprehensive list of what's where, who's the response forces, how long it might take them to get there, so on and so forth. So if there's adjacent worlds with other defending forces, that if you raid that world, you have X amount of days to worry about them showing up to contest your time. So that's why they put in these things. So the jump point, days to jump point 2, and if there's so let's say if I got an attack on Sudeton and I'm raiding a planet there, and I need to worry about the Falcon Guards Gamma Galaxy being on the planet defending, well, here at Coral, potentially, I don't know where that is in relation to the 2, but you've got 2 more units from Gamma Galaxy and Iota Galaxy. It would take them 2 days to load up their drop ships, 2 days to get to the jump ship from the planet. The planet ship would jump, and then it would take 4 days from the jump point to get to the planet. So potentially 6 to 8 days before these reinforcements could show up here to contest an issue here, right? So on Sudeton, defending units, Falcon Guards, Gamma Galaxy, Obelti Weaponry, on-site defending forces of 6 Falcon Guards, Iota Galaxy, PGC. They produce Thunderbolts, Warhammer, Hunter support tanks, and J. Edgar hover tanks. Now, they'll say, well, these are clans. Well, they don't use those, they use Omniacs. Okay, that's true. But clans don't waste resources. If they have a factory, they've captured it, and it can produce stuff, they produce it, and they would provide this stuff to their garrison and Saloma units and their secondary forces, because resources are resources are resources. You can't turn this factory into an OmniMech factory, but it does produce Warhammers. Let's just keep producing the Warhammers, even if they're inner sphere variants thereof. Our secondary warriors can make use of them, and they'll be grateful to have them. So go on to various places, the same stuff. Just keeps writing. So we go into the Draconis Combine. So here's Chatham. Days to jump point is 9. Defending unit on the planet is the 8th Sword of Light, 2 battalions. With Kakashi Enterprises. On-site defending units, 8 Ashland regulars. Vehicles produced is the SL-17 Chalone aerospace fighter and the LCF 16K Lucifer 2 aerospace fighter, and various components to support those 2 fighter craft. So now, I don't think that this is comprehensive. I mean, I think that there's more production facilities, maybe smaller ones scattered about producing other things, because it sure seems to me when I look at the various houses and their production capacity, it really drives home just how hard it is, ideally in game terms, to replace your machinery. I mean, it doesn't tell you how many they produce, but if they only produce 1 or 2 mechs on that particular factory planet, and they're not producing every design. That's another common thing to keep in Battletech, that there's a lot of mech designs that are available that they're just not produced anymore. They were produced in such numbers for the Star League era back in the day that they still survive, and the testament of the technicians and the repair capacities to jury rig and to custom manufactured components to make that mech work. A really good machine shop, it's worth its gold, worth its weight in gold in this universe, if you play to the flavor that the concept was designed to be played as. And so many players do not do that, in my opinion. They've really missed the boat on this aspect. Why not hype on it? Why not whine about it? Well, it's because I like to be a purist when it comes to a lot of stuff, and I believe that part of the flavor and the charm of Battletech is the fact that everything is not pristine. Everything is not fire and forget, throw away. You need to make things count, and if you can salvage stuff, you need to do so, and not be shamed or tricked into not doing so. So in this place at Luthien Armor Works, Luthien, days to jump point 8, defending units on the planet, 1st Sword Light, 7th Sword Light, the Otomo, 1st Jinyosa, and the Raganukanai. Luthien Armor Works is protected by the 2nd Legion of Vega. Vehicles produced the Jenner, the Wolf Trap, the Grand Dragon, Quick Draw, Charger, and Mauler. This would be a major loss to House Krita if this factory was destroyed or captured. Of course, trying to capture that, destroying is one thing, capturing it while it's on Luthien, that's not going to happen, much as the plans found out the hard way that you just don't walk into the heart of the Draconis Combine expect to just walk off with their capital without a fight. Hesperus 2, perhaps the most iconic, largest factory world in the inner sphere. In the sphere, it's just what's produced: the Hatchiman, the Griffin, the Archer, the Zeus, the Banshee, the Atlas, the Hunter tank, the Manicord tank, Rommel tank, Patton tank, and Avenger dropship. And not to mention a slew of components for all these machines. And none of this all of this material is not just manufactured to produce new ones, but this is the source of those components and parts that are so hard to acquire for your unit when it's in the field. So this might explain why, if your Angst Clearview 2A targeting tracking system has an issue and you need parts for it, and the only place producing is Hesperus 2, and it's 7 jumps away and probably 9 months worth of logistics issues, it might take you. This is why it might take you a long time to get a replacement, and keeping what you have running and functioning will fall on those technicians and your ability to raid other places to get those parts. Another reason why it might be much more convenient for the house or the mercenary command or whatever to raid a neighboring house's stockpile to get those components than trying to get them from the factory, because they might be closer and they might be more likely to be available. It's just what it is. So Lots of material, lots of stuff. There's just so much. I spend a couple hours, and I'm not going to go through every single one. I'm just giving you a taste of what's in here. And it goes through all the way to the major periphery states and so on and so forth. Secondary periphery states, the Turian Concordat includes land. Pinard Protectorate Limited on-site unit is the Knockburn's Bandits, producing Locust and the Stinger. The components used in those two machines. And over here at New Vandenberg, produces Stinger, Archer, Marauder, Chippewa Aerospace Fighter. Just as a taste, an example, right? And then we get to the back here, and we get a handful of blueprint maps for example factories for operating on your, let's see here, right? Here's an example of Lucian Industries and its placement, buildings, and what's in each building, and what they do, etc., etc. General Motors, Blackwell Factory, so on and so forth. So, anyway, Objective Braids, that's a nice book. It is. You can get your hands on this thing. It's worth having. If you can get a PDF of it and you're a Battletech enthusiast, there's lots of value in this particular subject material in this book. Just my opinion. Anyway, this is Rick, and you guys have a great weekend. I hope you have a great holiday. It's coming up. I'm hoping to do some more videos next weekend or over the holiday weekend. So we'll get into that and go from there. Till next time, keep your bullets straight.